Namaste, everyone. Hello, and welcome to Insightful Conversations with Dawna. That's me. I'm super excited for you to be joining me today as I have an incredible guest, which many of you know, Jess Juntunen. I am so excited that she's here and that we will get to talk to her, hear her story, talk about all the amazing things that she does and offers and where she's located and all that fun stuff. So, if you don't know who my guest is, you're in for a real treat. And if you do, then I know you're very excited to be here to get to hear her and listen to her because she's incredible. So, without further ado, Jess, would you join us?
Hello, what a beautiful opening. Thank you. I'm so honored and happy to be here today with you, with everyone here. It's always amazing to share time in this oneness community.
It is, and I just love the energy of this community is so loving and supportive, and I just think that it's so needed in the world. We need to have a community. We need to have a soul family. We need to have a tribe that we can go to that will lift us up when we're struggling or feeling down or dealing things out of our control that are not what we would want, right? And so you offer so many different things for support of this on people's journeys. First, let's talk about you and how did you get into the metaphysical, into all the many wonderful things that you do. And if you don't know, Jess is also a host, Soul Fusion Cafe, which airs on Tuesdays. And you can find the recordings if you haven't seen her before. She's incredible. I love your shows. They're always magnificent. And Jess also does like new moon and full moon guided meditations for the energy at that moment, which is fantastic. They're really powerful. So Jess, how did you get into all this? How long have you been doing this?
Yeah, thank you. I know, probably like yourself and a lot of people in the community, that you probably had some kind of draw towards, the different paths since you were young. And that was certainly true for me. I always, I was really with nature and animals and and just really was a lot of the time searching for the divine when I was really young, not being brought up in any kind of religion, but, I was looking for that. And as I got older, it really was, as a young adult, and I knew I'd finished my bachelor's degree, but I just knew, like, sitting in a desk at a computer all day, every day was not going to feed my passion. And I was already looking into things like, studying massage or yoga or something. It spoke to me, and I became a mom and moved to Costa Rica and all of that. So I kind of didn't think about it for a few years, but it was when I moved back to the States from Costa Rica that really that searching began. I finished a master's degree, but I'm like, okay, that's cool, but this isn't it. And that's when I found a healer. I needed that for myself. I needed more than what I was going to be able to get from therapy. I knew I was dealing with things that finally I could look at, but I needed that guidance. And I ended up in the office of a phenomenal healer who is actually part of our community, Patty Markham Peterson, like 10 or more years ago. Yeah, we're actually pretty much almost neighbors. And it was like I'd seen her around and she was always glowing, and I had heard people talk about her, and I just knew I needed something that was more than talk therapy, because I had done that my whole life and it didn't get me as far as I needed to go. And I always looked for things, like I didn't want to just medicate, the anxiety and things I was experiencing at that time. So through a series of synchronicities, I ended up in her office, and it was very rapid. We did a few sessions and she did evasive balancings with me, and things were happening in me so fast. And she had mentioned, she'd have like quotes from Sri Ramka or things that she would say that like really resonated. And as soon as I went and looked at their work, I was like, it was just like coming home, and very quickly after that, I went and got my doula certification to be a birth doula, supporting moms and babies and families. And I started certifying in anything and everything that Shri and Kira and Self-Ascension was offering. And within a year, I was down there studying with them in person. And within a year of that, I was starting to do this work as a healer and putting it out into the world. So I think like a big part was necessity. I came to this work because I needed more than what the mainstream was offering. And it opened up and activated just everything for me in my own path. It was so quick and rapid, and I just knew I was home. I knew that. So yeah, thank you for asking.
I love that. That's an incredible journey. And how you met Patty and then was led right over to Shri and Kara. And just speaking of Shri and Kara, I just want everybody to an extra positive energy, love and light. I don't know, Jess and I were talking about this earlier. I don't know if it's the solar flare that's happening right now that is so strong and interfering with energy. And I don't know if you all can feel the energy. I know, Jess, you can. And it's really strong. And I just think it would be good for us to just send them extra healing, love, and light energy of support for all that they do and for what they're going through and their transition, because we know them that whatever to birth and offer in the future is going to be amazing. And I'm excited to see what that is. Of course, as my ego, the little kid, doesn't want to let go, doesn't want to change, right? And it's like, oh no, I'm not going to have them for Sunday service. But it's evolving, and it's whatever comes out is going to be incredible, right? And we know that.
Yeah, absolutely. Right. It's the steadfast commitment, focused awareness, and complete trust. Just really trusting, that as they're guided, we're guided, and something new is blooming. And it's always true energetically when we release something, if it's really not in alignment, it makes that space for what new is coming into birth. So absolutely know that so much is birthing and so much is happening. And I think those that are in the community that felt the like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do on my Sundays? Or, that's been a part of my life for nearly 10 years, listening to that every Sunday and what that's done for so many. And I can feel everybody out there, their ego being triggered, right? Yeah, that ego trigger of, oh no. And I think it's fantastic though, because it really is such an invitation to, open up your connection in some new way. Please come over to Monday Magic. Please consider that hour, like that we're still in community and we could be all sharing, right? Like being outside, grabbing an ensoulment to read, doing something during that time that supports and nourishes us. And there will be no shortage of community and support. It's just all shifting. And, I think that takes courage to make those changes, actually, when it's the right thing to do, but it takes courage, so I really honor that also.
Definitely. I definitely honor that. And it just makes me think about more something that I learned from going to some Tony Robbins events. And he's like, if you're not evolving, and that's what Shri and Kira are doing, they're evolving, they have so much to offer. I'm lucky to have them. And they've been teaching so many of us and encouraging people to step up and take on those leadership roles, which I know you've done a very good job of doing, Jess, and thank you for. And I think that they're trying to encourage more people to step forward and to be those leaders as well, and those teachers, mentor, healers, right? And yes, trusting that it's evolving. And Tony Robbins says, if you're not evolving, if you're not continuing to push yourself and go outside of your comfort zone, because it's easy to get stuck and stagnant doing the same thing over and over again. Not even though maybe you're helping people, but there's more, right? There's always more. And if we're not stepping forward and expanding, we're not standing still. We're either moving forward or we're going backwards. And I try to remember that I have to, because one of my biggest issues has been fear, and allowing fear of not being good enough, fear of that I'm going to make a mistake, or that I'm not going to do right by somebody, which I hate because I want to do right by people all the time. But I'm human. We're all human, and so just seeing what else and try that what we're guided to expand, and that we can't fail. It may look like a failure, but honestly, we can't fail, because any perceived setbacks are opportunities for growth, right?
Yeah. There is no wrong.
Right. I love that. And we have lots of comments from people, and I say hello to everyone. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your comments, and I know that people are thanking you, Jess, for dedication to the TOSA community, and just that we're all together, and everybody is just saying how much that they're grateful that we're here and that we are all together right now. So yay! Thank you for being here and for being that leader.
Yeah, and thank you, Dawna, because you have stepped forward in so many ways, and you just rode the rocket ship and said yes, yes, yes to so many things. And it's incredible to witness and watch your journey and get to know you, and everyone in the chat just seeing your love. This community it's really a beautiful place, and I appreciate all of you. And there's days, the human in us could say, I don't feel like it today. Like there's those days where you're just like, I don't feel like it. But knowing that there's people out there that need you, that need us, that really can make it a whole different ball game when you're like, wait, there's all of these other beings out there that are doing their best too. And of course, I'm going to show up, and this community helps us remind that we're not alone. We're not crazy. We're not alone. Right. And that there's so much support, both on world and off world that's happening for us.
Absolutely. So don't forget to reach out if you need support, if you need encouragement, if you need to feel that we are sending you energetic hugs and love and light, and that we're here for you to help you say yes to you. It is scary, but when you do it, it's also very freeing and exciting, because when you start doing what your life's work is, what you were created to do, and I know you've experienced, when you are working with someone and you are helping them instantly, it is amazing. Yeah. I feel like I get just as much as them.
That's what I say. It's like you're receiving so much. So when people thank me, it's like, really, thank you, because if they didn't say yes, we wouldn't co-create that moment. We wouldn't have shared that healing experience. And it is incredible. Like every time my mind is blown because I never know exactly what that person's experience is going to be or what it's going to be like. And, to see the shift that happens and know being in service really is what will fill your cup, and that's whether you're professionally working as a healer in some way, or you're not, but it doesn't matter if that's your profession or not. It's that you're showing up in service of humanity, the planet, in the ways that feel right for you. If you just really love giving and being generous and that fills your cup, that's your service, right? Giving people that moment that makes that person smile in an interaction, that's a moment of service, right? There's so many ways that we're in service, and you always feel so fulfilled if you're in that. And I know this is true for me. If I'm not in that state of service, and if we go into like a withdrawing almost from the world because we feel like it's all too much. And I've tried to do this, guys, and it just it like kind of works, but not. You just have to do more work after you decide to go, okay, that wasn't really like a break to withdraw. I mean, sometimes you need the balance. You need to like have a day on the couch under your blanket. That's like one thing, but it's when you're not like being true to what your heart is guiding you. You're not acting, and it can just be little actions, but if you're not in that, it's going to feel harder. Everything's going to feel harder. And if you're in that service, you're going to be fulfilled and nourished, and you'll have the energy, and things feel easier. And it's like, it's that simple. One does not feel very good. One feels good. And sometimes we can start to feel like you talked about earlier, those messages that could come up, like, I'm not good enough, or I'll make a mistake, or if I try to do this thing, like, what if I screw it up? You might have that big dream and it's just scaring you to go out there and do it. But it's more painful. Eventually the pain of not doing it will be enough that you'll do it. You'll do the thing, or make an action somehow, some way, because sitting on the fence is really uncomfortable. But yeah, to really be like, yeah, you got to make a choice of like, am I just going to like not do it, or I'm going to do it? But like sitting there is like way worse. Just pick one or the other. And Zodkiel would say, like we said earlier, there's no wrong, but make a choice. Like sitting there is just terrible. Make a choice. But if you want to start feeling better, just start doing something. Be in service to yourself,
Yes.
How are you loving yourself? That is like ultimate service, and
Completely.
extend that to others in the way that you feel called, and you will be nourished.
Oh, completely. Completely nourished. Yes, absolutely. It's so important for us to remember to love ourselves more, to take care of ourselves more, to give ourselves that grace and that tenderness and compassion. And I had a quote that came through yesterday that I thought was really good. And it says, work each day on being a better version of you, but work even harder on loving yourself completely. The strong, miraculous person you are right now, even with your flaws. And I thought that was so appropriate because, yes, we're all flawed, but we are still miraculous beings. And we can co create and change. And it's okay to try something and decide, no, maybe that's not the direction I wanted to go after all. It's okay.
Yeah. It's okay. We're going to make mistakes, quote unquote, mistakes. We're going to fail, those are all like density illusionary concepts anyways. But like, if we can come to terms with that, I think we did such a disservice to ourselves for a long time as humans, having these expectations and standards of what success is or what that means. And that so many of us got the message of like, well, just better not even try because, you know, you might mess up. And in school, right, you fail, you get penalized, whatever. It's like, you know, so we shy away from it in so many ways. And I think a turning point, and I will always have to keep reminding myself and retraining the brain, but it's like, yes, there's that like discomfort of new growth when you are switching things up. And you were talking about this earlier, Dawna, like I call it the tension of new growth. Like, but when you gotta like do the new thing or try something new and it's gonna be uncomfortable for a minute because the ego is gonna kick and scream and have a fit about you deciding to do something that's different. And it's gonna say, what if you fail? And you know, what if you succeed? Like, what if you start looking at how great everything could possibly turn out instead of what could go wrong? And accept the fact that you will have some kind of failure. And that's totally cool. Like, that's just, it doesn't mean you're like not a good human being or you're not worthy of doing this. And if those kind of tapes are playing, you know, it's like, dig into them and investigate them and then really just feel where they might be coming from and then give yourself the gift of expanding through, right? And that compassion you talked about, and love yourself and forgive yourself and hold yourself through it. But yeah, any, I think, great inventor or thinker or mover and shaker of our times, like I love reading their stories because they have so many, you know, books that get rejected or, you know, fall on their face or mess things up so many times. Like any successful quote unquote person has had to fail a lot of times, you know, like that's just comes with the growth and the stretching, and it's okay.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes. And before we continue, I just want to point out the Shield of Zodkiel here. And I do have smaller ones laminated. And if you would like one, please send me an email and I will mail with your address and I will mail it to you as my gift to you. Because looking at the shield, it's so powerful, it's so amazing, and I want to share it with absolutely everyone that I possibly can. So if you would like one, I will put my email in the comments. It's dawnaforfitness@gmail.com. That's DAWNA, the number 4, the word fitness @gmail.com. But I will put it in the comments and just email me Shield of Zodkiel, your address, and I will drop it in the mail to you this week. And so you'll get it in a few days. And yes, I made up 100 of them. And that was after I had gone through about 50 of them. So I doubled my order. And I do want to get it out there to as many people as possible. So if you are watching and you have not received one, you have not requested one, please email me and I would be more than happy to send it to you as my gift.
That's incredible. I love that so much, Dawna. What an incredible gift. So yeah, scoop that up, folks, if you are thinking you would love this in your life, because, you know, I love your big print of the shield. Of course, I've just been gazing into that while we're connecting here on the show. And those of you out there who might not know what the Shield of Zodkiel is, just spend time with it and notice what it reveals, you know, to you. That's that still center, you know, and I love that I've got Zodkiel back here.
Yes, I know. I noticed that.
So what that picture is that Dawna has is really what, you know, is in the very center of the shield itself. It's the blue jewel in the center of his shield. And that's like the revealed energy. And you will receive clarity, reassurance. I mean, just to meditate or have that somewhere present really is supportive. So I love that part of the Shield Project, you are mailing these out. That is absolutely incredible. I love that idea. I might steal that idea. I might borrow it.
Absolutely. I don't own it, and it's just something that I thought I could do. And I just know, and I give them to my clients when they come in for Reiki, Avesa, energy balancing. You know, if I hadn't seen them before, that I give them one as well. And they're just, to me, there's so much energy that radiates off of them. It's a protective energy. It's an empowering energy. It's very strong. And I just love it. And I'm grateful that Sri and Kira brought this forward for us and have it out there. And I know that there are people, like I believe Lars from, I think he lives in Finland. I'm not positive on that. And forgive me, Lars, if I don't have the right country. But I know he said he went and was able to print one because they have a downloadable version on their site as well. But if you would like one that is laminated, I do have those made up and would be happy to send one to you.
Incredible.
So yes. Yeah, it's just, I think, like I said, I think it's important that we all have little reminders around whether you're doing the sticky note practice from navigating the inner matrix. And if you're not doing that, why not? I challenge you to do that, to sign up. You can still, I don't know if you can get on the live one still, but they certainly have the home study, but they are doing live ones now every day. And it's and going through navigating the inner matrix is life-changing because it really does help you go within and peel back some of those layers and take a look at yourself as far as what limiting beliefs subconsciously are you letting interfere or playing in your life, right? Mm-hmm. And maybe you could speak more to navigating the inner matrix, because I know that you are one of the coaches for that, to help people with their questionnaires and their homework and in their journey.
Yes. I mean, navigating the inner matrix it's like more than a home study. It's more than words can really describe. And it was the very first program I studied with Sri and Kira. But it was Zadkiel that brought this through to Sri and Kira, right? So navigating the inner matrix was birthed through Zadkiel to the world. And it really, if you can't get in the live, it's going to be up, yes, packaged as the home study with all the new materials, and you can still get like a coach that witnesses your journey throughout. But it is 9 weeks of, like you were saying, Dawna, looking at yourself, understanding where those limiting beliefs might be coming from, and really applying real tools and understandings. And you're reading these messages that are ensouled, that carry an energy and activate you at a level that's beyond what the mind understands, but is very felt. So it's a very transformative process that really allows the lower 3 chakras, the root, sacral, solar, to come into peace, love, and joy. So lifting and living from the heart is that much easier because we're not competing with the body and the ego pulling us, like being, be afraid, don't do it, be scared. It helps clean up all those tapes and anchor in the foundation so that we can really be that multidimensional being. So we're walking around here being a human, but also realizing that really we are a huge, beautiful, amazing spirit that has the blessing of having a human form for this time, and what we can create through it in this world. It's very exciting, and it's just one of those foundational programs. Like, do it. If any part of you is like, I'm thinking about it, whatever, do it, find out, sign up, get on the list if you need to wait for the live to be done. And say yes, because it's incredible what happens for people in that journey.
Yes, definitely. I know I did it a year ago, and it was very profound, and I'm enjoying going through it again because things have shifted, and it's interesting to see the shift where I'm at now, and then other things come into my awareness that I need to address and get the opportunity to clear. And that is, that's huge. That's powerful, because ultimately we want to heal ourselves. right? And then we have so much more to offer other people. And I know you find this as well. It's because you mentioned it, you know, it's so interesting to.
Okay, I'm not sure if you're frozen, Dawna, or if it's on my end, but just holding the space until hopefully Dawna can return. And for me, Dawna is frozen right now. So as we are holding space for dear Dawna to hopefully unfreeze and come back into the call, um, we are here right now, and looks like Dawna might have gotten kicked right out of the call. So taking a beautiful heart-centered breath and just really being here. Hello, yay!
I'm talking away, and it's like I see the diamond up there that shows me I'm not live. I'm like, ah,
You're
bummer.
taking a heart-centered breath and holding energy around
Thank
you
you.
returning from the frozen land.
Yes, that the solar, you know, the energy right now is really strong and really powerful. And I know Jess and I were talking about this earlier, the solar flares that are happening right now. And also the resurgence of different strains of COVID that's happening, that the variants that are seemingly even harder on even healthy people. And just, you know, there's a lot of fear still being put out into the world. And that's why it's so important that we come together from a place of love and compassion, because we need that for ourselves first and foremost, but then to put it out there into the world, because so many people are struggling. So many people are struggling with something that they don't share. You know, people don't post typically their issues on Facebook and other social media. They don't typically let people know exactly what's going on and exactly what they're struggling with. And yeah, Tim said the last couple of days have seemed extremely intense, and they are energetically. It is right now, and so it's something to be mindful about, and to just give yourself extra patience and compassion, as well as other people. You know, you may be a little bit more on edge and easier to be annoyed. So pay attention to that. And maybe when you go out in public, really think about protecting your energy and tapping into, you know, doing the evasive breath of 3 times before you head out the door, so that you're more centered in your soul and heart, and able to embrace people energetically from a place of love and compassion.
Yes, I agree. All like really good advice. And I love what you were just sharing about protecting your energy and thinking about when you're going into a space, like connecting with your heart, like remembering that, you know, you're more than whatever all of these energies that are cycling around, and being that walking blessing as you know, think of yourself that way as you are walking through spaces, that you are that living embodiment of the I am presence, the luminescence, the light. And being in that place is a lot more fun, because you'll see the ripple that you're having on people around you. And it really is important to think about these things. So energetic, like hygiene, I call it energetic hygiene. We've got to clean up our own energy. We have to pay attention, because like you were sharing, the fear and anxieties and all of those energies that are attached to it are full on in the planetary thought body right now, right? My show yesterday was like all about this, like fear or freedom. I mean, because we're in that choice where it's like, are you going to go into the fear, or are you going to lift up into the freedom and break free from, you know, all of that illusion? But the planetary thought body is robust, fat, happy. It loves the fear. It will definitely be happy to help trigger you to offload some more so it can keep eating it. Anger, right, you know, that's like, right, once fear has like gone around long enough, it turns into anger. and things are definitely volatile, and it's,
Mm-hmm.
you know, it's a crazy uptick in all these energies. And yeah, we have solar flares and other things. So we start feeling so much, and our body is trying to adapt so much, you know? So yeah, the compassion, loving yourself, you know, like I know, like you love, like drink your water,
Yes.
do right, stretch your body. It's really important to be moving your body and your spine. The kundalini is rising, right? So really paying attention to like taking care of you, and notice like, you know, what things are obligations that you just maybe don't need to go and do if it's too triggering or too stimulating. Like, what do you really need to go out and be doing? Or, you know, think about your choices for what serves you and not like what other people need to, you know, and really pay attention. It's energetic hygiene. It's like brushing your teeth or anything else. Clear your energy. Do the practices and things that help you remember who you are, and, you know, let that be the way you lead yourself through your days.
I love that. Yes, absolutely. You know, Sri and Kara talk about the bath, you putting the Epsom salt and Himalayan salt and the um, hydrogen peroxide that in the bath, and then put other things in that are going to make you feel like it's luxurious, you know, like you're nurturing yourself. But light a candle, put on some music, do something that feeds you, and that will also help that water and the things in it will help to remove any unwanted energy. But even just setting that intention, and I like to call on Archangel Michael. He's great for cutting away cords of attachment and removing energy that doesn't belong to you. Any of these things that you can do, and just like Jess was saying, brushing your teeth, having that water is life. And water is so powerful. And even just putting your hands in the water can help to release energy that is not yours. And so it's really important. And yeah, if you did not catch Veda Austin's work, if you have not seen that, make sure that you go check her out. Veda, Veda Austin. And she is documenting so much incredible information about the water communicating back to us, because water is living and our bodies are 70% water. It's very important that we replenish that with lots of water every day. Go outside into nature, you know, get off electronics at least for a short period of time every day, where you are just refueling you without those distractions. And I know you live by a beautiful lake that you get to, beautiful body of water that you get to connect with all the time,
I know,
right?
I try not to be like elitist about it, but I live by Lake Superior and it's incredible. Um, it's just, it really is. She's just got, but I love like the lakes and the stream, like the smaller lakes and the streams. Lake Superior, it's an ocean. It's a freshwater ocean, and we call it the North Coast here because you can't see to Canada. It's so vast, and she has huge waves like the ocean, and she does communicate, you know. So I have noticed there's a lot of healers that have been born in these areas around her shore. I know we choose where we're born, and it's like it's a uncanny amount of people for not a huge population that are like artists, healers, and the people that are drawn to it. So it's not a mistake, you know. And I love what you're sharing about water and Veda Austin's work. I've got her book, and I mean, just blows me away. Like some of you might be familiar with, I forgot his first name, but Emoto's like initial
Dr.
work. Yeah, with the frozen images of water. Well, Veda's like taken that and like just gone bananas. She's got like 20,000 different images of these samples of what water does and how it communicates, you know, and it just doesn't cease to astound me, right? Because we're what percent water? You know this, Dawna.
70.
70% water. So we
Mhm.
are a water bag, like
Yes.
70% water. And water is constantly in this communication and receiving the vibrations of the intentions that we're carrying. I mean, our body is literally vibrating to the thoughts that we're having right now in the moment. So if we're stressed, then looking at her pictures of what water looks like when it's stressed, it's all pokey and sticky, you know, like a burr. And when peace or love is there, you know, it's like it becomes this beautiful image, and often even the heart is represented in the water. It's profound. So knowing our body literally is almost all water, it's vibrating to whatever we're thinking and saying, and whatever we're around, it's dancing and interacting. So if we're not feeling very good, you know, start paying attention to what thoughts you've been having, you know, what environment have you been in. And when you go outside, right, and you go by a body of water, whether it's a creek or stream or lake or ocean, or you get in your shower or your bath, you're soothing your own energy field by being in that energy of the water. And a lot of other things are happening too, like the negative ions that's in, I don't know all this, but I'm not, don't quote me, but it's something to do with the ions and the negative positive ions and the charge. And when you go and be by water, it's like helping you balance your own charge again.
Right. Yes. And that's what, like free radical damage and inflammation is from missing those negative ions. And so we need to recharge them. And living water, being near a living body of water is very powerful. That's why going to the beach, whether it's by a lake or going by a stream or going by the ocean, is so soothing to our souls, because it's soothing to our bodies, which are, you know, 70% water, and it communicates with it in ways that we don't even realize because we're not at that conscious level. But it's so cool that she and Kira especially is tapped in with it, of being at that conscious level to get it, to communicate with. And it's just, it's profound to me, and it's exciting, and I'm excited to see more of that work and more of what comes out about it.
Yeah, I am too, you know, and like you said, it's consciousness. Like water is consciousness, it's alive. And it's almost like, seems like sci-fi or something, but that's just how everything feels right now. I mean, it's just incredible. The water, literally, it's a sentient energy. It's not just a stagnant whatever. It's powerful. So like you, I'm curious for sure. Definitely a water infinity person. So I can't wait to see what other things Veda and Kira, you know, have to share about the water.
Yes, me too. Me too. I think it'll be mind blowing. Definitely fascinating for sure. And while we're talking about water, I want to mention the waterbears.org. I know a lot of people on here are aware of that, but for anybody that is watching that isn't aware of what that is, or anybody that catches this after the fact, the waterbears.org is an organization of women started by a couple of women that are incredible. And they go into small villages around the world. I believe they've been in 22 countries. And they take filters to help the indigenous, the poor people that don't have clean water, obtain clean water, because now they have a filter to filter this water through. And, you know, we all deserve clean water because, again, our body's 70% water. It makes a difference what you replace that with. And it's incredible how they are transforming people's lives, especially women that used to have to be in fear of their life or in fear of getting raped by going out and getting buckets of water for their family. And now they don't have to anymore. And so please consider supporting that. Go to thewaterbears.org. I know if you watched my show last week, I had Angela, who is writing books, children's books now, about water, which is incredible. and she's part of the Water Bears organization as well. And so if you missed that last week, go back and watch that in the archives, because that was a fabulous show with Angel. And I'm grateful that she shared all that she did and that she's writing these books. And I'm excited to see them and see more and all of that. So it's just exciting as the water evolves within us, and talk about, I mean, that fits with what you were saying earlier, stepping into your dream and fulfilling that. It gets to that point where you just can't say no any longer. You have to do it.
You will. Yep. Our success is guaranteed. Our success is guaranteed. Zodkiel says that. Remember it. Your success is guaranteed. You will say yes, and you will say yes again. And if you are one of those that came knowing in your soul you had something to do, you're going to do it. It's just really up to you, and what timing. And some of it's up to divine timing, but we are of the divine, and it is up to us ultimately. When you're ready to go, you go. And everything you're sharing about the water bearers and last week's show and Angela, like, that was such an incredible interview and time. And it gives me just a lot of hope that there's this organization and beings that are dedicated to helping humanity and helping, meet really basic needs that a lot of us take for granted. But still, in 2021, there are so many people in the world that don't have access to water or shelter or medical care. That's another thing Monday Magic supports. It's the water bearers and Clinical Linda. It's medical care and water, for beings that really need it. And I don't know, I just feel so inspired to see this work that's happening. It's like, oh, look, we're really doing it. People are out there doing it and saying, like, I'm going to make the difference and going to make it happen. And it's just very inspiring, because we're building the new earth, rather than focusing on, like, oh my gosh, everything's crazy and a mess out there. Really, why not put the focus on what are we creating? What's being created here? Because there's so much inspiring, amazing things happening in our world right now.
Absolutely. Yes, I love that. Looking at the opportunity for what can you do? What can I do to help support? And even just saying a prayer for someone, even just putting your hand to your heart and sending somebody love and light, and it makes a difference, because love is so powerful. It's more powerful than anything. And it's easy to forget just how powerful love is. But we can overcome anything with love.
It is the answer. Love is the answer. It might sound cliche, but it's true. Love really is. And our energy, like you said, saying a prayer and holding love for a being, it is felt. It is absolutely felt. And whether that being knows you did it or not, it's like, it's an energy that you are sending out. And, like, to be in that kind of service is more important than we think, because we're really supporting the planet when we can be in that pure intention of offering our love to the world. It's, it's just really, I can't really imagine my life being any other way at this point. Like, there's no going back from here, right? It's really just about choosing and saying yes again. It doesn't mean there aren't days where it feels sticky or hard. I'm telling you, the spiritual journey is not just easy. Yes, awakening can happen fast. Miracles can happen fast. But you're going to have to work through your human stuff. And it's not always easy. It really isn't, and that's the steadfast commitment, focused awareness, complete trust. Just keep saying yes. Because you'll say yes once, and then you will be asked, are you sure? Many, many more times, and you'll have to keep saying yes.
Yes, exactly. And yeah, obstacles will come up and challenge you, just to see if, are you sure this is really what you want? And I experienced that I experienced that, and just over a year ago, I was trying to get out of a marriage that was not serving me anymore, and I had all sorts of things outside of my control try to block me, and I mean, I had to just laugh about it because it was I had to just keep going. Yes, I this is what I want. I know that there's things I need to do, and for that I have to step out because that person was not supportive of me evolving spiritually or with my spiritual gifts or for me to help other people. He wanted me to just help him and nobody else. And that's not what we're meant here for. We're meant here to interact with lots of people and to share the gifts that we were given, the gifts that we chose to come here with. They're meant to share, and everybody listening, everybody that hears this, watches this at some point, whether it's today, live, or in the future, you matter. You have huge value, and you have so many gifts and talents that you don't even know yet. You haven't even discovered yet, and the world needs you to be you. You know, Jess is amazing, and what if she had never said yes? You know, then we would not have this incredible leader that she is, and this healer and mentor that she is. And I know I have been blessed as a result, and knowing you and getting to talk to you and having you coach me. You know, it's important that we step forward because we never know who we are helping by being who we are authentically. So
that's just so beautiful. I love how you shared that, and I'm not sure if you're hearing the echo, but I'm hearing a little bit of an echo. But yeah, my heart is just touched because you don't know who you will be helping by saying yes. Like you just said, it's and I'm thankful like every single day that I'm still here to be able to help anybody, and if it's one person a week or one person a day or a million, it doesn't matter. It's like just showing up and knowing you're making that difference, because helping one person may easily have that person help 100,000 people. You don't know what's going to happen from you just having a heartfelt interaction with one being, what that will unlock or open. But there were so many times where I could have said no and I couldn't have done it, and so many times that the ego said, yeah, that'll be easier, just don't do it, but thank God I didn't listen, and I'm still not listening to it, and we're still going. Just stay the course, folks. Stay the course. Keep saying yes. It's worth it. It gets easier and easier and easier.
And trust yourself, trust the divine, trust this community, trust and know that we are here to support you. We have so much love for you. And we're just about out of time. And before we go, Jess, I want people to know how to find you, please.
Yeah, if you would like to find me, go to selfascensionstudios.com. All one word, selfascensionstudios.com, or you can email me at jess@selfascensionstudios.com as well. And yeah, check things out. Say hello. Pop by on Tuesdays for Soul Fusion Cafe. That's at noon Eastern time, 9 a.m. Pacific, and say hello there as well.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much for being here today. It was so much fun. We have to do this again.
I agree. I know the time went really fast.
It went so fast. I know.
Yes, I love hanging out with you and with our community. So we'll do this again.
Definitely. And thank you, everyone, for being here. Sending you all so much love and light.
Namaste.
Next week, and we'll see you soon. Much love.
Bye.